I needed you. I needed you around and you weren't there. And I was lonely, and I'm really sorry.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the scenes that made us completely rethink what we thought we knew about our favorite TV characters. Be warned, this list contains massive spoilers.
How'd you know it'll be good?
Because I know what is good.
Number 20. Nancy marries a DEA agent. Weeds. On Weeds, Nancy Botwin's husband dies suddenly, leaving her without enough money to keep up the suburban life she and her sons have become accustomed to. In order to maintain her lifestyle, she enters the drug trade. However, what starts out as a way to keep her family secure inevitably ends up getting them in danger. Nancy marries Peter, a DEA agent, for her own purposes despite her son's feelings, and ends up using Peter to take down her competitors in the business.
Residents were awakened to the sounds of police sirens and battering rams. Over 1,000 plants were confiscated and dozens were arrested.
Her remarriage marks a turning point for the show. Most anti-heroes get into crime for an all-right reason, but once they become obsessed with power, things really go south.
As I was saying, I was looking for the perfect gift to get my wife, and so I got her a neighborhood.
Number 19. Allison kills Harland, The Umbrella Academy. This Netflix series follows a group of siblings bound together by a shared birthday and a host of different superpowers. Allison Hargreaves, also known as the Rumor, has the power of mind control. Season 3 sees the previously good-natured Allison turn hateful, power-hungry, and careless.
You're the reason Claire's dead.
My power spilled over. I got in my head.
And the reason the whole world is ending!
I couldn't stop myself.
Victor knew.
I'm sorry.
The consequences are deadly. Her impulsive murder of Harland Cooper turned viewers against her and started her down a path many still can't understand. How far she goes is drastic and hard to digest. It also made us look back at some of her past behaviors through a new, less forgiving lens.
You end the world and take it from me!
How are you doing this without saying I heard a rumor?
Just a little residual gift from Harland.
All right, that's it.
Number 18. Ted dumps Natalie on her birthday. Twice. How I Met Your Mother. Nobody would ever claim that Ted Mosby is the perfect man, but early on in How I Met Your Mother, his antics were more charming than downright cringeworthy. All of that changes when we meet Natalie, Ted's ex whom he reconnects with. Let's not forget though that he broke up with her over the phone 3 years earlier, on her birthday.
You really are awesome. I'm just like super busy right now, so maybe we should just call it a day.
After only a few short weeks of dating again, he decides that she's not the one for him and plans to end the relationship once more on her birthday. This was a totally heartless move on his part, especially for someone who claims to be such a hopeless romantic.
I'm sorry, I thought the mature thing to do would be—
It's my birthday!
Yes, I know, I didn't realize that it was—
It's my birthday, and you're telling me I'm not the one for you?
It's really not such a big deal.
Number 17. Michael kills Libby and Ana Lucia. Lost. One of the survivors of the ill-fated Flight 815 has a tougher road than many of his fellow castaways. Michael comes into the story as a sympathetic character, a father to a young boy named Walt. But after he's kidnapped by the others, they use his love for Walt against him.
I'm sorry.
For what?
Things come to a head when he betrays his fellow survivors and shoots Ana Lucia and Libby dead. He ultimately trades their lives for his and Walt's freedom from the island. Michael's attempted redemption arc in a later episode didn't do much good either.
It's game time. Are you in or out?
I'm in.
Number 16. Donna Doesn't Go to College. That 70s Show. In season 6, Eric Foreman puts his girlfriend Donna on a bus to begin her college career while he stays behind to help look after his ailing father. But as the bus pulls away, Donna's still on the sidewalk. She says she can't leave him behind. Eric's ecstatic, and so is the studio audience.
Donna, what? I couldn't do it.
But viewers are still divided on the twist. The thought of Donna giving up a promising education for her boyfriend still doesn't sit well with many today. It just seems so out of character. She would later end up going to college, but this decision ultimately skewed a disposition we once thought we knew so well.
Donna, I think we were about to make a huge mistake.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had a bad feeling too.
Number 15, Andrea gets with the governor, The Walking Dead. Up until season 3, Andrea Harrison's character development from frightened survivor to badass zombie killer was one of The Walking Dead's storytelling triumphs. Then the governor thing happened. The governor leads the town of Woodbury with an iron fist.
So what's your real name? If it's not asking too much.
I never tell.
He kidnaps Andrea, and within a few episodes, they enter a romantic relationship. From then on, she's on a course for destruction that sees her making some pretty foolish choices. She acts as a peace broker between her fellow survivors and the governor's minions, which leads to more conflict and ultimately her death. Viewers were upset to see the character reduced to a clueless pawn when she'd grown so much.
I'm not planning on dying.
No, neither am I. It just happens.
Other things happen.
Number 14, Miranda cheats. And just like that. We are all Carrie when she asks Miranda how long she's been unhappy in her marriage. So much of Miranda's story has been about finding happiness with her husband. She doesn't seem to even process the gravity of her own affair.
What are you doing?
I'm getting clean sheets, and I'm gonna get all that stuff off of the bed. And
what are you doing?
It's not just surprising that she'd end her marriage this way, it's really annoying. It also doesn't help that the person she cheats with, Che Diaz, is a highly controversial character, and Miranda's husband Steve is almost universally beloved.
This ain't never coming off. I don't care what Miranda does, and we will. Till death do us part.
There's something to be said for the trials of marriage. However, Miranda's affair with Che feels underthought and underbaked. Number 13, Dan's Unfaithful, Roseanne. In season 9, the show's original final season, the Connor family won the lottery and ditched their humble beginnings. But the one constant was the bickering in Roseanne and Dan's marriage. That changes when Dan goes to California to take care of his sick mother and falls in love with her nurse.
You gotta believe this. I did not go looking for this. I didn't plan on this. If I had a choice, this wouldn't have happened.
If you had a choice, you didn't really just say that to me, did you?
I'm sorry.
Once he finally comes clean, we feel as betrayed as Roseanne does. It's a well-acted scene, but it's hard to swallow that after all the years of Dan being a dependable and loving husband and father, he does this. Maybe it's for the best to write this one off as a big fever dream.
The very last thing I would have ever expected out of you, Dana. Your duty is over. You're free.
Number 12, Dan is Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl. Fans were left shocked when the mystery identity of the eponymous blogger was revealed in the series finale. Yes, it makes no sense given how Dan Humphrey has behaved throughout Gossip Girl's 6 seasons. But more than that, it makes him come across like a total sociopath.
I could write myself into it. I'd overheard enough conversations to be able to mimic the language of the Constance girls, but every writer needs his muse.
If he is Gossip Girl, that means Dan is responsible for some of his best friend's worst secrets being leaked. His reasoning doesn't even make sense. If he wanted to get closer to Serena, why did he spend several years trashing her in his blog?
I think you're just mad because Dan was the one who was pulling the strings all along.
This whole time, I had more power than you.
But what he did with that power, it was write a love letter, not just to me, but to all of us.
It's a twist, all right, but the jury's pretty much unanimous about whether it's a good one. Number 11, Rachel quits her dream role, Glee. Rachel Berry clawed her way from high school outcast to Broadway sensation in record time. However, once she lands the role of Fanny Bryce, the very same one that made her idol, Barbra Streisand, famous, it's not her talent that blows it for her, it's her ego. When she decides she'd rather be on TV, she leaves the stage behind.
I know I made a mistake, but I had an opportunity come my way, and I thought...
Oh, yeah. You thought.
The problem for many viewers is that they wanted Rachel to finally be humbled, and each time it felt like she was finally going to learn a lesson, the show let her off the hook. By season 5, everyone had had enough.
We want to create a TV show around you, Rachel. We don't know what it is, but we'll figure that out.
Are you serious?
Yes, Rachel, I am serious.
Number 10, Andy sets sail. The Office. After entering the picture in season 3, Ed Helms' buffoonish director of sales was polarizing for many viewers. His immaturity was pretty evident, even for a Dunder Mifflin employee.
Just stop doing it. You're going to drive me crazy.
Fine, I'll just go sit at my desk and be quiet. Sorry I annoyed you with my friendship.
Over the course of the next few seasons, however, he underwent significant character growth and became a valued ensemble member. Yet in the final season, Andy alienated fans and his coworkers when he abandoned his girlfriend Erin, who already had abandonment issues, to sail the Caribbean with his brother.
I am very pleased I could help Andy. Would I have gone with him if he'd asked me? On his sailboat cruise to the Caribbean? Yes. I think that would have been really fun and romantic.
This reminded viewers of the callous and selfish guy he was when he was first introduced. Even a hasty attempt to win back some of his goodwill in the latter half of the season failed to rectify the damage.
Let's get back to busting some paper rhymes. Come on. Who's that girl? Who's that girl? It's Andy!
Number 9, Debs' feelings for Dexter. Dexter. He may be a serial killer, but Dexter Morgan has a soft spot for his adopted sister. And after 6 seasons, we learned just how much of a soft spot she had for him.
It's your safe place.
Yeah. Since we were kids.
Deborah Morgan was a character who brought out the human side of Dexter, but in the 6th season, she realized she was in love with him, kicking off a bizarre turn of events in a show that was no stranger to bizarre turns of events.
God, you can't keep doing this to me. I've almost lost you twice. I love you.
Murder was one thing, but this was a bridge too far for many viewers. Deborah's devotion to Dexter before was adorable, if sad. Adding this unnecessary layer only made it incredibly disturbing. Thankfully, it didn't last too long.
It's like I've always been looking for someone like Dexter. Or someone who's the opposite of Dexter. As a way to avoid the fact that I'm in love with him.
Number 8, Nate betrays Ted. Ted Lasso. Head coach Ted Lasso treated his coaching staff like family. Among them was Nate Shelley, his protege and assistant coach. However, Nate quickly grew jealous of Ted, and it all boiled over in this penultimate season 2 episode.
Try out your fake 9.
False 9.
Hey, this looks very nice.
Thank you. Here we go again. Give Ted yet another idea he'll take all the credit for.
In a shocking and heartbreaking turn, Nate betrayed Ted by leaking news of his anxiety attacks to the press. It was a rare moment of viciousness from a character we'd come to love.
Because you sure as hell don't belong here. But I do. I belong here. This didn't just fall into my lap, right? I earned this.
Nevertheless, just like all things on Ted Lasso, the fallout ultimately concluded on a gentle note. Despite the betrayal and hurt, Ted and Nate eventually reconciled, although the incident made fans completely second-guess the show's central theme of kindness.
It's okay.
No, please, can you just let me say it? I'm sorry.
Number 7, Carrie breaks up with Aiden, Sex and the City. The columnist at the center of this HBO comedy set in New York City often left us scratching our heads. Carrie's ongoing will they, won't they relationship with Mr. Big made for some rich drama, but it also hindered our understanding of her character.
Wow. What's wrong with you?
I get it. You've never been in love.
The most egregious example of her self-serving behavior came when she broke up with Aiden, whom the show made out to be a near-perfect guy. He was sweet, handsome, and attentive, qualities that stood in contrast to Big, who could be cold and infuriating. Aiden even forgave Carrie when she cheated on him with Big.
I am yours. There is nobody else. I love you, but I can't marry you to make you trust me.
So when she abruptly decided to end their relationship, it didn't make any sense. Suddenly, Carrie's hopeless romanticism just seemed ridiculous.
Can't believe I'm back here again.
Number 6, Rory drops out of Yale. Gilmore Girls. If Lorelai Gilmore wanted anything, it was to see her daughter attend an Ivy League school and not become the spoiled rich kid her parents envisioned.
This is for the best.
Listen, I've got to get back. We have a big staff meeting in a few minutes, and I want to get back and make sure everything's set up and ready.
We'll see you tonight, my one and only offspring.
Well, as it turns out, those two things might go hand in hand. Having grown up believing she was inherently exceptional, Rory's response to a rotten internship experience was to impulsively steal a yacht and then act indignant when forced to take accountability.
Nice and seaworthy.
Not ours to take.
That ever stopped you before?
I think I've been a bad influence on you, Ace.
Her decision to drop out of Yale was the culmination of a series of bad choices driven by a bruised ego. Now, we can cut her some slack due to her young age, but as any fan would tell you, Rory lost some of her shine after this incident.
You're making a mistake.
No, I'm not. This is normal. College kids take breaks like this all the time. You didn't go to college, so you don't understand.
No, I didn't go to college.
Number 5. Fiona endangers Liam. Shameless. Shameless threw so much at Fiona Gallagher, handing her the unofficial responsibility of sole parent over her multiple siblings.
I'm not asking for your pity or your admiration. I just want to be able to give these kids everything that they deserve because they're great kids.
Given her circumstances, we forgave her when she occasionally went off the rails. In a show full of characters constantly going off the rails, Fiona's missteps kind of felt earned. However, in season 4, her actions took a more troubling turn as she cheated on her boyfriend with his brother and ended up in possession of narcotics.
He's gonna be okay, right?
Her youngest brother, Liam, accidentally ingests the drugs she carelessly left out, resulting in his hospitalization and Fiona's arrest. Watching her grapple with overwhelming guilt was moving, but it was the natural conclusion to a series of really dumb decisions.
Mr. Gallagher?
Gotta go.
Please tell him that I love him, okay? And I'm so sorry. Please, please.
Number 4. We were on a break. Friends. Hindsight is 2020. Ross Geller was a lovable, if somewhat goofy, paleontologist who spent the whole series pining after Rachel, even when he was marrying another woman.
Hi, Ross. Hi, Ross. Take the Emily. Take the Rachel. Emily.
But when the two were broken up, or on a break depending on who you ask, and Ross slept with someone else, a lot of people started to see he wasn't all he was cracked up to be. Then on top of that, he almost expects her to be grateful for his efforts to keep the affair hidden.
Like I wanted him to tell you, I ran all over the place trying to make sure that didn't happen.
Oh, that is so sweet. I think I'm falling in love with you all over again.
Ross continuously digging his heels in over the semantics may have launched a catchphrase, but it also really made him look like a jerk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you speaking to me or sleeping with someone else?
We were on a break.
Okay. You know, Ross, why don't you just put that on your answering machine?
Hey, it's valid, okay?
Number 3. Spike attacks Buffy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Prior to this season 6 episode, Spike the Vampire was a fan favorite. The forbidden romance between him and his slayer Buffy was fraught and teased out for most of the series.
Are you hurt? You're not moving so well.
Get out.
We have to talk.
I really don't.
However, the dynamic took a darker turn in this particular episode when Spike makes aggressive advances towards Buffy before pinning her to the floor. If their relationship wasn't doomed before among the fans, this incident seemed to seal the deal for many.
What have I done?
Despite the show's array of frightening monsters from hell, this was perhaps the most unsettling moment across all 7 seasons. Actor James Marsters, who portrayed Spike, found the scene so difficult to shoot that he vowed to never do anything similar again.
And she shall look on him with forgiveness, and everybody will forgive and love.
Number 2. Alex leaves Joe for Izzy. Grey's Anatomy. Dr. Alex Karev arrived at Seattle Grace Hospital as a cocky and generally unlikable intern. Over the next 16 seasons, we witnessed his transformation into a caring and loving partner to Dr. Izzy Stevens.
Today I become a husband. Today I become accountable to someone other than myself. Today I become accountable to you.
After Katherine Heigl, the actress who portrayed Izzy, exited the show, viewers had to adjust to Karev's tumultuous romance with Dr. Joe Wilson. However, all of that progress was undone when Karev abruptly left Joe via a letter.
The last thing on earth I want to do is hurt you. But I'm leaving.
I already left, actually. I'm gone.
Not only did he depart without a proper goodbye, but he also reunited with Izzy, who had left him years before and had been raising his secret children the whole time. Even fans of Karev and Izzy's relationship thought it was an unfortunate mishandling of a key character's exit.
And I'm applying to the hospital nearby. I wanted to be mad at Izzy for keeping them from me, but I can't because all I am is grateful she made them.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Daenerys destroys King's Landing, Game of Thrones. Witnessing the conclusion of HBO's epic fantasy series was bittersweet for us all. Jaime Lannister's character development was all but undone by his decision to die with his sister, Cersei.
Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Only us.
Daenerys Targaryen, on the other hand, always bore a bit of her family's darkness. Instead of taking us on that ride with her and delving into the corrosive nature of hatred, the show chose to fast-track her descent into a snarling madwoman.
The next time you fail me will be the last time you fail me.
In the penultimate episode, audiences watched in horror as she ordered her army and her dragons to ravage the city of King's Landing. We were always destined to fall out of love with Daenerys, but the rushed final season made it impossible to really process that loss.
What about everyone else? All the other people who think they know what's good.
They don't get to choose.
Which of these characters were ruined for you forever? Let us know in the comments.
Go as far away from here as you can, and don't ever look back, okay?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.